sometimes in the sporting world and frankly life in general, reality can smack you in the face really quick. It comes at you fast. And you look at the Thunder just a few short days ago. You're thinking they're heading into the 2019-2020 season with a core of Paul George and Russell Westbrook and Steven Adams. And even with some of the other stuff that's going on, maybe they'll still be a team that can make the playoffs and then make an early inconvenient exit. But that's not going to happen anymore. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard orchestrated this beautifully. Paul George requests a trade from the Oklahoma City Thunder, and General Manager Sam Presti obliged, and ultimately Paul George has been traded to the Clippers. Isn't that something? Paul George is a Clipper now. And there's poor Russell Westbrook, all out in Oklahoma City on his island pretty much by himself again, maybe with his buddy Steven Adams. But it's the reality. It's what happened. And now, based off of the change in the landscape, the change in the climate, the Oklahoma City Thunder must recognize the color of the leaves, that the seasons are changing and the time is here, and the time is right effing now to trade Russell Westbrook. Period. There are certain topics where you can have opinions and agree or disagree on something based off of perspectives, but this has to be a fundamentally understood fact, or at least firmly established truth, that the way the Thunder are constructed in no way, shape, or form makes them a championship contender. Clearly, people don't want to play with Russell Westbrook. You know he's got 4 years and $170 million still left on his damn contract, all the while he's entering his age 31 season, and the Thunder don't really have any cap flexibility for this season or next offseason. And you look at that core around Russell Westbrook, Steven Adams, Gallinari, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Dennis Schroeder, Jeremy Grant, Andre Roberson, Terrence Ferguson, Mike Muscala. You ain't winning shit that matters with that configuration of a roster. Can we at least all fundamentally agree with this? And therefore, as a result, if you are not going to be a contender or getting close to being a contender, which the Oklahoma City Thunder are not going to be in either case, then there is no reason to continue down the path that you're on right now. The time to strike is now to get Russell Westbrook the hell out of there. You can talk about the loyalty that he has shown the organization, and that should be rewarded. And that should be rewarded by the Thunder, General Manager Sam Presti and crew, showing him the loyalty to get him the hell out of there. It'll be the best thing for Russ. And when you look at the amount of capital in terms of draft picks and so forth that the Thunder got from this Paul George deal, while they wouldn't be able to get the same thing for Russell Westbrook on the market, I can promise you that, they'd still be able to get something. Because you'd be in this awkward place otherwise, where you're just allowing Russ to sit there and pad stats the next 3 to 4 years and you're not winning shit, so what the hell have you really accomplished? And all you're doing is help to diminish Russell Westbrook's legacy, diminish his stats, diminish his accomplishments. Like, this is one of these obvious things. I think everybody can see the changing of the color of the leaves here, changing of the seasons, and be like, you need to strike and you need to strike now. Because in another year or 2 or 3, it might be too damn late to trade him. And if you've got one commodity that you potentially could trade and you get somebody like the Heat or the Pistons or the Knicks or any number of teams out there potentially interested, you've got to strike and get something now before it is too damn late. It might not be the situation the Thunder organization wanted to be in, but it's the situation you got. You don't want to sit there and be in that place where you're battling between like the 6 to 9 spot in the Western Conference or the 7 to 10 spot in the Western Conference, because you're never accomplishing anything. You're not going anywhere. You're just wasting everybody's time, and you're wasting a whole ton of money. And you could say in the future, well, how are you going to be able to lure free agents to Oklahoma City? And those are still valid questions that you ultimately have to solve long term. But keeping Russell Westbrook there doesn't change that. If anything, it makes it worse because players aren't going to want to play with him. You don't think Paul George saw the writing on the wall, and after his 2 years of experience with Russell Westbrook, he thought better of it? That's why the fuck he's in Los Angeles with the Clippers now! You've got to deal Westbrook. Russ has got to go. The Thunder have to start the rebuild, and they have to start it now. Let somebody else pay for the years of stat padding and big-time numbers that Russell Westbrook has put up in the past. Let somebody else be saddled with the $45+ million on his contract the last 2 years in the freaking 2022 and 2023 seasons. Don't be the team stuck paying Russell Westbrook a John Wall type of contract when it might not be long before Russell Westbrook starts breaking down like John Wall. When you look at Russell Westbrook and you look at the energy and intensity that he plays with, oftentimes to his and his team's detriment, there is an element there of significant concern that if he gets one significant injury, it could all significantly go downhill with the quickness, similar to what we saw with guys like Allen Iverson in the past. Once they started aging a little bit, they aged precipitously, and it was quick, and it was severe. And the same thing can happen with Westbrook. Are you going to want to sit there in his age 33 and 34 seasons and potentially be paying this level of money for this level of performance and production? The answer is no. Look, he's been there for a decade plus. You've done some good things with him. You've made appearances in the NBA Finals, and you've made appearances in the conference finals, and so on and so forth. But there comes a point in time where that's the past, it's in the past, and it needs to stay in the past because it's not going to be your present, and it's most certainly not going to be your future. The Thunder have to strike now, get some team to be desperate, thinking that Russell Westbrook is going to be a significant game changer for him when he most certainly is not, and get back whatever you can. Because every day that you hold on to Russell Westbrook, and in particular, potentially every season that you hold on to Russell Westbrook, you're taking a greater and greater chance that something could go wrong, and you get stuck with that albatross of a contract, and all the while, you're taking more and more time is going to lead to a diminishing return. You're at that moment on the curve where the performance and production is still good enough where you could get probably a decent price for him. You wait much longer, all of a sudden both elements are going to fall down the slope. Might not be something that you want to admit. It might not be something that you want to face. But the reality is smacking you right there in the face. Oklahoma City Thunder. You could show him your loyalty. You could thank him for all those great years by helping facilitate Russell Westbrook's ass out of town while you still can, because it would be the best thing for all parties involved.